Hello everyone, this is Bentley. We're doing something a little different today. I have this fancy new Aquasky 3.0 and we're going to do a little unboxing. I've actually got, this is a different kind of desk rig I'm working on that I might do for some more like product type stuff, but I have an overhead shot and I'll cut to that now so you can see what that looks like. I still need to adjust some things and get it all set up. I kind of hastily got this set up a couple days ago. So knowing that this was showing up, we're going to do an unboxing. And just do a quick connection to the Fluval Connect app and see if we see any obvious things that stand out to us that are new and different in the app from the Aquasky 3 to the Aquasky 2. First things first, handy scissors, corgi here. Let's cut into this bad boy, huh? It's worth noting, and I need to say this for disclosure's purposes, this light was provided to me by Fluval. They gave it to me to do some reviews and testing and basically do what we do here, right? But I'm not being paid for any reviews. I do get to keep the light, so you know, from a transparency perspective, we'll just keep that in mind, right? It's kind of similar to what they've done before, where they provided me the previous generation of Aquasky, and I know I'm looking all over the place. It's a mess, but I want to get this open. I'm excited, man. I've been looking forward to these new lights. I see my problem. The tape goes down a little bit further, and I don't have that cut, so I need to cut it just a little bit. I really need a proper like box knife. I've had a lot of people give me some gruff for not carrying just like a knife normally with me, but I'm not a person who normally like carries knives, and most of what I have around my house is scissors. All right, so another cracked into this bad boy. Get it aligned a little nicely on the overhead cam. My chonky finger is causing problems. It seems like it. I will say, one thing that I absolutely love about Fluval's lights is this right now. And I think you can see it in the overhead shot, right? It's just box. I pulled the legs off on accident. But light, done. There's not a lot of like connecting random things. It's just there if you don't accidentally rip the lights off, or the legs off the dang light. There we go. Alright. Let's see what kind of cable we got. Because in some of the previous generations for the various Fluval lights, some of them have a fairly hefty ballast to them. Looks like we're going to have something here too. It's going to be loud and obnoxious, I know. There's our manual. It's like stuck in the box. Technical difficulties screen should come up right about now, right? Da, 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 da. There we go. I know I'm a doofus, but it's just how I live my life. Some of them have really big ballast. I mean, this is pretty good size, don't get me wrong. But it's at least nicely side-angled, so that it's easier to get into some of your like static power strips. Some of the, I think Co-op's light is like this, where it's the plug and then the ballast comes off this way, and that can actually interfere on certain power strips. You connect it to like a Wi-Fi timer or something like that, it's not a problem, but it is something you can deal with. Oh, I love this, by the way. They're including Velcro straps. I don't know if you can see that really well. I'd have to bring it up closer to the camera, but Velcro straps. And I mean, this is kind of like the norm in the tech industry. I'm just like super used to always having these things with every cord known to man, but having them in something in aquatics so that like you can bundle up your cables really nicely and cleanly with a Velcro strap and keep your cable management nice. That is a big plus if you ask me, your humble reviewer. Let's plug down. Okay, so we'll plug this in just a half sec, but pretty simple, right? Like the previous generations of lights where it's a single row of LEDs. The difference here is just this is a slightly nicer set here, and I'm pretty confident this is purely app controlled, but the difference is this is both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So you'll notice that on the packaging here, right? You can see Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So one of the big complaints with the previous light, well, generations of lights, right? So the Fluval Plant 3.0, I think it was the Reef 2.0 and the Aquasky 2.0, is that they were all Bluetooth only app controlled. Now they have Wi-Fi as well. So in theory, I'll have to see what the settings are like when you get into it, but then have your light on Wi-Fi so that when you lose power, what would happen on the previous generation of lights is it would forget where the timing was of the program. It would just, when you got power back, it would assume it was midnight, 0 hour, and it would run the program from there. But now if it's on Wi-Fi, it should be able to reacquire the time from your Wi-Fi network, right? Because that's doing everything off the internet. It should be pretty freaking accurate. And then from there, resume its programming exactly where it should be. Let's hope. But that's what happens, like, if you have a more basic on-off light, like the aquarium co-op light. If you've got it on a Wi-Fi timer, that Wi-Fi timer just hooks back up to Wi-Fi, realizes what time it is. Oh, I'm supposed to be on. Clicks on. You don't lose your programming, which is super, super nice. Kind of interesting that this portion of the, like, board here, but kind of interesting that this portion of the board through here is not, like, shielded in any way. Kind of cool to just see that out in the open. That's a personal thing. I'm a tech person. What do you want from me? But yeah, you got your legs, nice and simple, designed to sit on top. But the way these are designed, I would bet you there's going to be someone on Etsy who's making 3D printed risers for these immediately, if Fluval doesn't put out their own. And my first thing I'm going to say to you, Fluval, if you haven't done this already, and I need to go look, make risers for these things, because there are so many of us who will want to raise this up off of like a standard rimmed tank, or even sometimes rimless tanks. We'll want to raise them up, say 2-3 inches, right? So they sit a little bit higher. Maybe we'll even go higher. Give us a riser that's an optional part we can purchase. Because if you have an official one, you know it's from Fluval. It should connect easy. Hopefully it's designed to handle basically any tank known to man. It's good quality of life. That'd be the first thing. Now granted, there's a lot of people on Etsy who make 3D printed goods. I've regularly suggested one for both the aquarium co-op lights and the previous Fluval plant lights. Put a link in the description for that person. But let's get this thing plugged in and connect it up to the app, and we'll go from there. Whoa! It's awake! We'll do this. That's a lot brighter. Just, it seems inherently quite a lot brighter. A new device. So we go here. And then now you can see all the new lights. We're going to choose the Aquasky 3.0. See, it found it really fast. That's super nice. It has a weird name. We'll give it a new name. So Aquasky 3.0. We'll call it Demo. How's that sound? Aquasky 3.0 Demo. Perfect. So a new generation device shows up. Firmware update is available, so right away we can grab an update. It supports OTA, which stands for over the air. And I know this light is like, we'll do this a little less blinding. Go to settings, Wi-Fi setup. Look at that. I can connect it to my, I'm going to just going to use that. And that should do it. That should get me connected. Oh, look at that. It's blinking. It's doing its things. That means it's connecting. Oh, it failed. Oh, that's a shame. Okay, so here's something you should do. Not force OTA update. Because if somebody's, like, say, having trouble, they can't connect to their Wi-Fi, they might get pretty angry. It's struggling to connect to my network.
Editor Bentley here. I cut out quite a bit, but I want to very briefly explain what's going on. The light only has a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi signal, and that's all I can find for a band. And I experienced a lot of trouble on my 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi router getting it to connect and find the 2.4 gigahertz band. So basically, if you're having trouble with that, just kind of keep trying. It sounds terrible, but eventually you will get it connected. Basically, what I was trying to say here is that from a pure quality of life perspective, we should make it possible to push the over-the-air update using either the Bluetooth connection and your cellular data or something else so that it's not 100% reliant on the Wi-Fi. Or if you cannot connect to Wi-Fi, allow someone to bypass the OTA update so that they can at least control their light without having the most recent firmware.
3 hours later.
Oh, it's connected. Sweet. So you'll see this thing has an update. Oh, now it's working. Well, that's great. It finally figured it out. So we're going to do this OTA update, and then we should be able to adjust our settings and do all the fun stuff. Okay, we've OTA updated. We're going to go back to our demo. So now we have manual, auto, and pro mode. This is kind of what we expect. Let's go look at auto mode. So pretty similar. Dynamic. Oh, that's for like weather effects. Interesting. You can do all sorts of things in the settings. But you can adjust the daylight. Let's look at this thing at like 100% everything. We'll go to manual. Just everything 100% in manual mode. I don't know why I thought auto would be good, but... and then there's all these preset kind of settings. So you've got kind of nights in different versions. You've got kind of like this cloudy day, different cloud levels, very cloudy, a lightning storm. Ooh. Then slightly less lightning with a little more sun. And then there's this this cool like rainbow shift mode. These are all kind of like display modes, not necessarily something that you might need necessarily on your tank at all times, but I think these are all different like cool kind of demo things. But let's go to more like standard. That's not what I want. I want just this. I want normal daylight. There we are. See, look at that. This is significantly brighter than the previous Aquasky. So this is important. It's still 27 watts, which the Aquasky 2.0 was. However, and what I think is kind of impressive about this, we're going to put this back down, is the second generation had 1850 lumens, where this has 2250 lumen. So you're increasing power by a little over 20%. It's close to 22%. It's like 21 point something. But that's a significant increase in lumens. Now, I'm going to look at Pro Mode. Are we still limited with only 10 points on the new generation lights? Oh no, look at this. So now, the big difference here you can see, it used to be limited to 10 points before in Pro Mode. Now you've got 12. So that's nice. And you can, of course, preview your settings, export, save as, all the usual stuff that we had in the past. We'll do a bigger demo on all those things and why they matter in the near future. But there is the Aquasky 3.0. And I kind of want to, let me use my, like, wall ball. I mean, just look how bright this is, right? I mean, it is brighter than the light I'm using for filming. Granted, I'm not, I'll set this here because it's kind of ridiculous, but like, yeah, this is so bright. I'd probably blow my camera out if I angled it straight at the camera lens. But this is incredibly more bright, considering this is our kind of low light monster, which is what the Aquasky 2.0 was. So I'm really interested to get this on a tank and start doing some testing. Number of videos are going to be coming out about these lights. We'll be starting with the Aquasky. I'll basically do a full guide on these things. I got a couple ideas for some alternate settings compared to what my previous ones were. I think they'll be a little more user-friendly for you folks because they won't be like 12 and 13-hour settings like I personally like to use. But I'll give you some settings, and if you have picked up one of these lovely new generation Aquaskys, maybe you're trying to use it in something like the Fluval Flex. I don't know how well these fit, but they feel like they should fit right in there, just like the previous generation did. So let me know. Have you picked up a 3.0? Can it fit in the Flex? Like all the Fluval lights, right, it's got a pretty dang good warranty. It starts off with 2 years, but if you register it, it goes to 4 years of warranty. They're kind of the best in the business when it comes to warranty on their lights. They really, really do care about their product quality. So that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this. We're going to do some alterations. You're going to see some different stuff in the future with this particular setup where, yeah, we'll do more product reviews where you have like this lovely shot where you can see kind of a top down. I'll get it more adjusted, make it a little better, and we'll have a combination of things. So as always, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and stay awesome.